Good evening from Bloomington, Illinois. I'm Dr. Frank Beatty, and I need to apologize to all of you because I somehow made my first video introduction, and lo and behold, somehow it must have been one of those auto spell correction deals that instead of putting it public, it put it private. Anyway, one of the interesting dynamics of this class is that we have two numbers. The old number is BI 5525, I believe that's right, but the new number, I do know what that is, and that's TH 5525. Anyway, I really want to congratulate you on tomorrow's kickoff. Tomorrow we kick off in this class of Biblical Foundations for Biblical Interpretation. It's a great class, and I think you'll really enjoy the challenges that you face in it. And of course, I also know it's the first class that you're taking in a dramatic step forward in your life to earn your Master of Arts in Biblical Studies. Congratulations. Now, I'm sure that you're going to have some sweating and some concern about it. I've been down that road. I like to tell high school seniors about April or May, uh, I give them a little quiz. I said, well, you were getting ready to get out of school? Oh man, they are eager as all get out. And then I said, I woke up one day and thought back, and I said, oh, those first 12 years of my education were just the first half. After I completed 24 years, I quit counting. But I've had a great time and enjoy studying and enjoy my brain being challenged with you as we work through this class. I want to encourage you to read carefully the syllabus of the class. I won't insult your intelligence by reading it back to you, but it clearly states the objectives of the class, and then our primary text is the book by Timothy Ward, and in written announcement I will be giving you a link so that you can check out some additional resources of his, so you become a little more acquainted with his. Now I'm going to look, and so if you need to put your computer on pause, that's okay. I'm going to walk down the week one assignments with you, and so you know exactly where I'm going. So we have two articles to read. The first is by Chan, and in the resources we have the ability to, I guess that's in the assignment. Um, you can click on that link and it will take you right there. And so that will be the first. It's not a lengthy article, about 20 pages. The second article is by Dr. James Spencer, who is the Dean of Distance Learning and the Vice President of Moody Bible Institute. So I think you'll find it very interesting. He originally wrote this course, so we will be bumping into him a number of times throughout the course, and you will come to deeply appreciate this man who has such amazing skill. A secondary benefit of his article is this: it is written in Turabian style, and in our Master of Arts in Biblical Studies, it is required that all papers being submitted be completed in the Turabian style. I'll say more about that a little later, but you will want to keep Spencer's article just as a model for you, and it'll answer a lot of questions. So then, in our community post, if you go to the left-hand bar on our class, you'll see community post, and one of those is introducing yourself. I note already that many of you have already introduced yourself, and I appreciate that. I've read some of them, but I've also had some fun today, and just kind of relaxing with family and going to a parade with family. And so I haven't gotten them all read, but I will before I go to bed this evening. Then below the reading is the audio items, and these two are a little brief. I think a couple of them are about 90 seconds long, and two of them somewhere around 3-4 minutes, that will just introduce a number of key concepts in here. Then we have the link there for the assessment, both as it relates to saboteurs as well as to the intelligence quotient. How is it? Positive intelligent assessment. And so you can study that out, and then you are, for your discussion board, you are to interact on that, and you notice there at the bottom of the page 3 questions. Do you feel that the PQ assessment accurately describes you and your thinking? The number 2, how might your saboteurs impact your performance in this program and in biblical interpretation more generally? And what are the potential impact of your own perspectives and tendencies on biblical interpretations? So that's a good thing to think through. Unfortunately, we can have a lot of blind spots and never realize that we have them. So the reading and the input here is to stimulate us to think beyond ourselves, to be certain that we are not trying to interpret the scripture just to accomplish a personal objective rather than being accurate to scripture. Then you will see the assignment number 1 on reading analysis worksheet. There is an assessment worksheet that you can print out or just save that you will be using to critique. And the sample is very, very helpful, so that when you go to fill out the other one, it will be a lot simpler for you, and you can kind of breeze right through it. The deadlines. Our class starts, shall we say, at 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday, Chicago time, and it concludes at 11:59 p.m. Chicago time on Monday. And the other 2 seconds between there, you can, I don't know, play solitaire or something. But that's just good clarification. 11:59 Monday night, Chicago time. You are to have everything taken care of. Discussion boards have another dynamic, because we want interaction between you on your postings. And so your discussion board post, your initial post, is to be done by Friday night, 11:59, Friday night, 11:59, Chicago time. And then by Monday night, the end of the week, you are to interact on 2 other peers' posts. As you interact with those, and I like the term interaction. Discussion sometimes can just be sharing of mutual ignorance, but interaction is where you probe what a fellow student has written. Maybe you push back and say, I'm not sure that you are looking at this accurately. Or ask, if this is true, then how does this mean, how does this affect the way that you're going to teach a group of senior citizens? And those kinds of things to think through more deeply. I want you to write at least 300 words for your initial post, and then at least 100 words for your interaction responses. So it's your initial post and then 2 interactive responses to 2 of your peers. When I count words, I don't count words that are 3 and less. So if you have "and the man," whoops, that's 3 3-letter words. Oh, I might give you credit for 1 or 2, but you may, if you use Microsoft Word Counter, you probably need to add another 25 or so words. What it ends up on the computer screen on our discussion board, what I'm looking at is somewhere around 20 to 25 or more lines. That's pretty much, I figure, about 12 words per line on those posts. You can kind of compare that on your self-introductory and just do a little comparison there, and you can see some lines have about 10 words and some have 12, and I just kind of count 12, but I do not count words 3 and less, 1, 2, or 3 letter words, unless, like I said, and the man. I'd probably give you a credit for 1 or 2. If you have questions about the discussion board, certainly fire it off to me, and we'll interact about it. And oftentimes your question is a question that 2 or 3 other fellow students have. The reading assignments are clear, and then as we get down to this biblical interpretation paper, again, this is Turabian style, and it is to be 3 to 4 pages. Now, part of quality graduate level studies is learning to be able to explain things well without writing an encyclopedia. As a professor of mine said, if you have 3 good reasons, don't give me 10. And so part of your discipline is to keep it to 4 pages. The 5th page will be for your references. So when I look at your paper, I can say, well, it's got 2 3/4 pages. That, 2 full pages and 3/4 on the next one. That's fine. Maybe 2.5. If you've covered it well, you can get by with that. But I don't want excessively long papers. So this is 3 to 4 pages in length. Now you can access the rubric on how we will grade your papers, and I will be reading each one of those papers. I look forward to reading them and thinking with you about what you have written and interacting with you on that. You can also access the rubric for the paper grading as well as the rubric for the discussion boards. If you have difficulty accessing those, let me know and I will find that. One of the things on the analysis worksheet, it will ask you some information about the author and their qualification, and you know as well as I do that anymore you can Google a person's name and you can learn all sorts of things. I was looking up my dentist phone number here a few months ago, and I was asked, do you want to see her house and see how much it's worth? No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get the phone number to call and set an appointment. So sometimes you can find out a lot more than what you really want to. Let's see. I think that pretty well explains what I'm wanting to communicate with you. If you have questions, do not hesitate to email me. My phone number is 319-850-0325, 319-850-0325. And my Moody email is fbeatty@moody.edu. Again, I am thrilled to have you in the class. It's such a privilege for us to work together and be from around the world, and people who have a passion to follow Christ and to grow in our faith and grow in our knowledge. And I really pray that as we study and work together, that this will be such an encouragement to your soul. May God bless you. Thank you again, and feel free to get in touch with me.